Did you ever think that Marilyn Monroe and Minnie Mouse might have something in common? Well, to your surprise, the answer is yes. They're pensioned for wearing clothes with polka dot prints, a fashion classic. The polka dot is an iconic design that has made its mark in the fashion world and beyond. It has become a staple in the wardrobes of ordinary citizens, artists, and even royalty. Although it is a pattern we see every season of the year, the timeless polka dot design comes back with even more force each spring or summer in its traditional variations and new interpretations. While some historians attribute the emergence of this trend to Georges Seurat's pointillism in the 19th century, there is evidence of polka dot patterns on clothing and decorative objects from ancient cultures in Africa, Asia, and Europe. Beyond their origins, polka dots have a unique and bold personality that is not shared by all patterns. These patterns are closely associated with the fashion of the 1940s and 1950s, dominating the wardrobes of Hollywood stars and adorning retro-style swimsuits. Polka dots are also one of the most popular prints among British royalty. First, Lady Di pioneered the innovative use of polka dots in skirts, casual dresses, and gala outfits. Today, Kate Middleton has continued this passion for the print by stepping out in numerous polka dot dresses. Truth be told, polka dots are like animal prints. They never go out of style. What does happen is that they adapt to the times with new sizes, colors, or garments. This time, you'll hear them as polka dots, their name in English. To witness the international discovery of polka dots, we have to go back a few decades to the 1830s. By now, you're probably wondering why they're called polka dots, and indeed, the name comes from the polka dance that was all the rage in those years. The success of this popular dance quickly spread beyond the borders of the Czech Republic, where it was invented, to invade all of Europe. It became particularly fashionable in Great Britain, from where it was exported to the United States. Taking advantage of this trend, some textile entrepreneurs did not hesitate to launch products related to the dance, thus creating polka dots. As with any fashion, everything comes to an end. The polka, both as a dance and as a pattern, came to an end in the late 19th century. In 1926, however, they resurfaced in the United States, this time thanks to the Miss America pageant, where one contestant wore a polka dot swimsuit. 2 years later, Disney relied on the pattern to dress one of its most iconic characters, Minnie Mouse. Suddenly, the shelves and windows of clothing stores began to fill with polka dot dresses and accessories. The polka dot pattern became a symbol of the women's revolution, transforming and empowering the role of women in American and global society. Cheerful yet powerful polka dot dresses, accented with polka dot ribbons and bows, suddenly became symbols of women's independence and empowerment. The impact of this style on society was so significant that many of the influential media of the time picked up on the phenomenon and devoted numerous articles and pages to it. Taking advantage of this trend and the positive image of the polka dot pattern, it was included in the famous 1943 war propaganda poster, "We Can Do It." Even Frank Sinatra himself dedicated a ballad to it, composed by Jimmy Van Heusen, and lyrics by Johnny Burke, Polka Dots and Moonbeams. Fashion designers like Christian Dior dedicated entire collections to polka dots, arguing that their collection aimed to recapture the extravagant and romantic feminine woman of the past through polka dot patterns. Of course, fashion strongly influenced Hollywood trends, and it wasn't long before major actresses were incorporating polka dots into their productions. Elizabeth Taylor, Lucille Ball, Marilyn Monroe, and others quickly became great ambassadors of the polka dot style. With such ambassadors, the strength and rebellious character of the style only grew over time. A good example of this is the famous song Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. by singer Brian Hyland, which, although it may not mean much to us, was a huge hit in the United States in 1960. So much so that even Marvel Comics introduced a supervillain in their comics who used the power of polka dots to fight Batman and Robin, among others. Of course, long before that, figures like Winston Churchill, with his sober polka dot bow ties, had given polka dots an elegant masculinity that Bob Dylan later used to express his bohemian and carefree style with his polka dot shirts around 1965. In the decades that followed, polka dots continued to establish themselves in fashion. Next to actresses such as Liz Taylor and Marilyn Monroe, they invaded the looks of the stars and began to be used in men's fashion as well. One of the greatest things about polka dot pattern is that it can adapt to any woman's style. We associate it with explosive women like Ava Gardner, as well as royalty like Lady Di. It became the uniform of the perfect housewife in the 50s, but also adorned the most eccentric and assertive styles of the 80s. What other pattern has so many faces? Polka dots can be defined as a relatively modern pattern. Until the advent of industrialization in the textile world, it was impossible to obtain fabric in which the dots were distributed in an orderly fashion. Polka dots are circular figures that invade the fabric and can be printed, woven, or embroidered, usually on a plain background. The favorite combination of this pattern is the mix of black and white. Whether the white dots on a black background or vice versa, this tonal mix is always synonymous with success. With the current trend, however, the range of possibilities has expanded considerably. Polka dots can be found in a variety of colors, and experimenting with different fabrics and transparencies also brings the pattern to life. Polka dots come in a variety of sizes and colors. Unlike stripes, they tend to look good on any woman. The key is to know your silhouette well and choose the garment that fits us best. In general, polka dots look good on all body types. Because polka dots are so trendy, you can find all kinds of clothing with this pattern. Dresses, blouses, pants, and even coats and accessories are available. You can go for a whole look or choose a single piece of clothing with polka dots. Undoubtedly, the most popular garment of the polka dot trend is the dress. That way, you don't have to worry about how to combine the dots. They can be short or long, suitable for everyday wear or special occasions. If you're worried about looking like you're dressed for a flamenco fair, rest assured. As you begin to explore your shopping route, you'll see the cosmopolitan air that polka dots bring to this season. One trend that experts suggest is to mix and match polka dot outfits. You can choose the same colors and choose the size of the dots, or change the order of the colors by opting for the opposite pattern. Both options are a hit this season. So polka dots are a good investment as a wardrobe staple because they can survive many seasons. You just have to know when to wear them and how to combine them. Throughout the history of fashion, there have been brands and designers who have made a pattern their own. Polka dots are no exception. And if we had to choose one brand to associate with them, it would be Carolina Herrera. The Venezuelan designer has been using them since her first collection in 1981. Since then, polka dots have remained an icon of the brand. However, in 2000, the arrival of Wes Gordon as creative director of the brand marked a new aesthetic direction. In this shift, polka dots remained timeless, but began to appear in collections with more vibrant colors. The influence of polka dots on Carolina Herrera goes beyond its clothing collections. It is so significant that it has been incorporated into the fragrances the brand has released over the years. The first perfume was launched in 1988, and the designer used packaging with black polka dots on a white background. However, Carolina Herrera is not the only muse for polka dots. Several brands and designers have followed suit, incorporating the pattern into various garments and accessories on prominent runways. International brands such as Miu Miu, Marni, Valentino, and Balmain have become staunch advocates of the trend in their most recent collections. Despite the fact that today, polka dots inevitably transport us to a nostalgic past, whether it be the resurgence of retro and vintage styles or the trends distinctively cheerful and lively character, it is undoubtedly a timeless and ever-present style that we see decade after decade on the most important runways, adorning the most diverse and prestigious personalities in society. So if you don't have any polka dots in your wardrobe yet, you need to make room for them. It's clear that you'll always find a perfect occasion to show them off. See you in the next video for more tips. Tell us about your favorite polka dot piece in your wardrobe and how you style it. To keep up with more trends that never go out of style, subscribe to the channel and see you next time.